So what could a 2,000-year-old religious text possibly have to teach us about social media strategy? It sounds a little wild, right? Well, today we're diving into a really fascinating text that does exactly that. It breaks down a whole framework for outreach in our hyper-connected world. Let's get into it.
Okay, so the whole idea our source text is built on really comes down to this one powerful quote from the Apostle Paul. The key takeaway here is adaptation, meeting people where they are, using whatever means you've got to connect. This ancient philosophy is basically the launch pad for a surprisingly modern strategy.
And that really brings us to the central question, doesn't it? In our age of smartphones, social media, and instant everything, what does by all means actually look like? How do you take that ancient principle and make it work in our world today?
To even begin to answer that, we've got to get a handle on the modern landscape. The source text argues that our connected world isn't just a little different, it's a fundamentally new environment for communication, and that presents both a challenge and, well, a massive opportunity.
And look, the author is super clear here. This is not just some passing fad. Our level of global connectivity has created a landscape that was, in their own words, once unimaginable. This is just the new reality, and any message, any idea has to operate within it. And that right there leads to a really crucial shift in thinking. The text is basically saying, hey, you've got to see platforms like social media not as fleeting trends, but as durable tools. Think of them like a hammer or a wrench. They're instruments designed for a very specific job.
I love this metaphor because it just perfectly captures the whole digital opportunity. It's all about transcending physical limits. Your voice, your idea, it's not stuck to where your feet can take you anymore. It can zip across the globe in the blink of an eye.
Okay, so if the world's connected in this totally new way, and all these digital platforms are the tools, what's actually in this modern toolkit? Well, the source material gets really practical and outlines the means for today's age. What we're seeing here is a fundamental shift from the physical to the virtual. It's about going from a model that's completely limited by geography to one that's instantly global. And the real game changer here, it's the scale. You're moving from a one-to-one, or maybe a one-to-few conversation, to a one-to-many broadcast. And the list of tools the text gives is actually super broad. It's everything from social media and blogs to podcasts and even simple text messages. Then you've got email, radio, television. The author basically sees every single one of these as a viable platform for getting a message out there. But here's the thing. It's not just which platform you use, it's how you use it. That's kind of the secret sauce. The text really emphasizes the power of micro-content, arguing we should never underestimate what a single shared verse, a short little video clip, or an article can do, especially when the platform's sharing features can amplify it. All right, so knowing what the tools are is one thing, but actually using them effectively, that's a whole other ballgame. The final section of the text gives a direct call to action, a simple, clear framework for putting this whole digital toolkit to work. And here it is. It boils down to this really simple three-step mandate. First up, be intentional. You got to have a clear purpose. Second, be creative. You have to adapt your message to fit the unique style of each platform. And finally, and this is a big one, be consistent. You have to maintain a steady presence to really build impact over time. So, to tie this all together, the text concludes with this section called the confession. Now, hold on, it's not what you're probably thinking. It's not that kind of confession. It's more like a mission statement, a declaration designed to really crystallize the core mindset of this entire digital strategy. And when you break it down, these principles are like a perfect recap of everything we've been talking about. Maximizing every opportunity, that goes right back to being intentional. Acting with wisdom and creativity, that's the second directive in action. And that focus on effective, large-scale results, well, that's the whole point of using these powerful tools in the first place. So really, when you boil it all down, what have we seen here? It's a clear, concise strategy. The source text takes a timeless principle of adaptation and plugs it right into the 21st century. It argues that to fulfill an age-old mission, you absolutely have to master the timely tools of the modern era. And all of this kind of leaves us with one last, much bigger question to chew on. Beyond this specific text, what does it really mean when anyone, whether for religion, politics, or just selling something, can use these incredibly powerful tools? How does technology fundamentally change the very nature of influence itself? That's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.